For all you people that are still grinding with the snipers inside Warzone, this video is going to be going over what are the 6 best sniper support weapons to be using inside Warzone right now. If you do enjoy content like this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as we try to reach our goal of 50k subscribers. Click that link and subscribe to our second channel. So the first thing I want to do is go over some TTKs, especially when it comes to SMGs and ARs, because obviously those are the 2 main sniper support weapons everyone uses. And we're mainly focusing on TTKs, a 300 HP, chest shots only, and overall what we're mainly focusing on when it comes to SMGs is the second damage drop-off point, and even in some cases the third damage drop-off point. When it comes to ARs, we're looking at the first and second damage ranges, because when it comes to the further ranges, you should be using your sniper, although they have kind of nerfed how snipers work, and they mainly work better in close range, so they've kind of messed up the sniper meta overall, in my opinion. But when it comes to SMGs, you can use the own gun, but my issue with the own gun is that the fire rate's a bit too slow, especially now that they've kind of nerfed some of the barrels. You can't get much recoil control out of it either, so not too great in that department. Gustav, very solid gun. The 600, 700, 800 millisecond TTK is very solid. Even though it's a bit of a slow firing gun, it's not quite as slow as the own gun, but on top of that, it's still got a pretty decent TTK. Vanguard PPSH is more of a hip fire build. Tommy gun's too high with the recoil. Armaguerra, very solid as well in my opinion. I definitely think the Armaguerra is a very good sniper support option. Tech 9, you don't get resuppressed. Type 100, not very good with the recoil department. Well gun, again, with the damage drop-offs is not so good. The Cold War PPSH is actually a very solid sniper support weapon in my opinion, especially because it's only got 2 damage drop-off points, and it's a Cold War gun, which a lot of people do enjoy using. So when it comes to the ARs, again, we're focusing on the first damage range. We've got the AS44, which could be an absolutely solid sniper support gun, especially with the TTKs this gun can output. Is absolutely ridiculous, and they buff the recoil. AS Val, mags are too small. Volk, even though they nerfed the movement, the TTK is still pretty solid, so very good gun for close range. Grav moves a bit too slow, Owen moves a bit too slow, and fires a bit too slow. Far has a bit too slow of an ADS time, and the extended range on this gun isn't too great. Cooper Carbine, very solid gun. KGM40 is up there as well, kind of. STG is a solid weapon as well. It's kind of always in the mix. So let's get on into the builds for the top 6 sniper support weapons. Now, obviously, these builds are going to change from the SMG or AR videos, because we're mainly trying to focus on getting the ARs a bit quicker, the SMGs a bit more range. So obviously, that's what we're looking to do here. So when it comes to the Armaguerra, I do think is at number 6 is definitely in the list. We want to use the recoil booster for the faster fire rate, obviously going to give you the better TTK. Body barrel once again, which is kind of the standard barrel we are using. Now, it does con your recoil, but it does give you the extra damage and the extra bullet velocity that we do need. So we are using the hand stop under barrel, we are using the 60 round mags, we are using lengthened over subsonic, especially because we're using this as sniper support. Polymer grip, because we need the recoil control back in the weapon. Usually I would recommend the fabric. Hard scope, again, I would usually recommend something like steady or something like that, but in this case for sniper support, we want the recoil control. Quick, the folding stock is the best stock for the Armaguerra. There's no real reason to change that. And then the slate reflector, or you can use the G16 if you really wanted to. Next up, we have the H4 Blixen, and again, the builds change slightly from what we are using with the SMG build. So when it comes to the sniper support option, you want to use the recoil booster for the faster TTK. You want to use the F3 barrel, which is the best barrel for this gun in general. It gives you the best possible recoil control. Hand stop under barrel, once again for the recoil control. 72 round mags, because it is the best mags available. Lengthened, polymer grip this time instead of the fabric. Perfectionist instead of fleet or any other perk you'd prefer. Then quick for the better sprint speed. Still, we are using the skeletal stock in this case because it doesn't con your recoil, and it does con your ADS a little, but it's not too much of a con where you would actually notice it all that much, especially since most of the gunfights you should be taking are kind of medium range. But like I said, I do think the skeletal, if you are running this as sniper support, will be really good. And then slate reflector is a solid option when it comes to optics. Next up at number 4, we have a gun we can't really rule out of anything at the moment. This gun is absolutely broken in the game. It's pretty much the best gun overall in the entire game right now, which is the STG. So slight changes to the build, of course. You want to use the recoil booster instead of using a suppressor. You want to use the longest barrel for the recoil control, of course. The hand stop under barrel, again for the recoil control, but you can also use the skeletal under barrel for a better ADS time. That's if you can control the recoil, which is pretty easy to do on the STG. Then we're using the 50 round mags because it gives you the best TTK. Lengthened, the fabric grip this time for a better ADS and movement speed. Vital still, because this is going to give you the best TTK. On hand for better ADS times. We are using the remove stock. Now it does con your recoil, but not enough that it does give you huge benefits to movement and aim down sight. So that is why we are trying to use it as kind of more of a mid-range weapon. You could go for the folding as well. It's a solid option too. Slate reflector this time instead of the G16. Now at number 3, we've done a very similar thing. The only difference is you will get a pretty fast TTK out of the Cooper Carbine at close range, which makes this gun really good. Plus it has a really fast fire rate, so very forgiving as well. So overall, Cooper Carbine, definitely a solid sniper support gun. So again, with the build, you want to make it so it's a bit faster than the usual long range meta build. So recoil booster for the faster fire rate, better TTKs of course. You want the Cooper custom for the better TTK because you get faster fire rate, but also you get recoil control. Hand stop underbarrel for the recoil control, but you could use the skeletal once again. The Cooper Carbine has very low recoil, so you can definitely get away with using something else. 60 round drum mags is the best mags for this gun. Lengthened once again for the better bullet velocity. Fabric grip for the better ADS and movement. Vital because we do need it for that fast TTK. On hand for the better ADS time. Remove stock once again for the better movement speeds. And then the slate reflector or whatever optic you like. Now this is definitely a very solid sniper support weapon. It's been popular as sniper support for a while now. So next up we have the fastest TTK gun on this list, which is the AS44. This gun has a pretty decent mag. If you can control the recoil, you're going to get some insane TTKs. Don't get me wrong, it is difficult to control. That's why we are using quite a lot of recoil control attachments here. But they have buffed the recoil in this gun as well, so hopefully it's a lot easier to use than before, and it will make a solid sniper support. So recoil booster for the faster fire rate, Falchion barrel for the faster fire rate. This is going to give you a faster TTK of course. Hand stop underbarrel for the recoil control. I have to recommend this. 60 round mags is going to give you the best possible TTKs over the other magazine attachments. Lengthened, which gives you the best possible bullet velocity. Polymer grip for the better recoil control. You need this, like I said. Steady, but if there was some kind of recoil controlling attachment here, I would recommend that instead, but there really isn't any that will help with recoil, so we're using steady here instead. On hand for the better ADS times, which we do need. The Zac stock, this is going to give us better side-to-side recoil control. So overall, it's not going to con you too much in the movement department, but still give you some kind of recoil control and a bit better ADS times, which is always a bonus, and the slate reflector. Last but not least, and we have the most perfect sniper support option in the game right now, in my opinion, which is the Volk. Now, the Volk is a solid option. Now, even though it got nerfed in terms of the movement department, the close range and long range TTKs are pretty much spot on when it comes to a sniper support weapon. Plus, it is actually a low recoil gun, so that helps out an absolute ton when you're trying to land your shots. So you want to use the recoil booster for the faster fire rate. It's going to give you a better TTK as always. Crosslink barrel to help the recoil, because we don't really need that movement speed bonus anymore because it's not insanely broken. Hand stop underbarrel, you can use a different underbarrel if you like. You don't really need all that much recoil control, but I just prefer to land as many shots as possible. 60 round mags is the best mags for this gun in terms of TTK. Lengthened, polymer grip again for the recoil control. You can go for fabric if you really wanted the better movement. Steady for better movement speeds. I don't think Perfectionist is really needed here. You can also go for Fleet. That's a really solid option too. Or you can even go for Gung Ho, which is going to give you that better sprint to fire or no sprint to fire, so you can hit fire better. On hand for better ADS times. We are using the adjustable stock for the initial recoil control, but also it gives you better strafe speeds, and then the slate reflector as well to give you the better optic, but you can choose whatever optic you like. Overall, I think the Volk is the best sniper support gun in the game. So there we have it. Those are the top 6 sniper support weapons that are currently inside Warzone. I have thrown up a PPSH build from Cold War that I do think is a solid sniper support option. If you want to get away from those vanguard weapons that are dominating the meta right now, then you can definitely try out this with your sniper rifles. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe as we try to reach our goal of 50k subscribers, and thank you very much for watching.